this video, I'm going to teach you how to play the perfect paddle serve. We're going to go through the right technique, tactics, positioning, and the common mistakes to avoid. Let's get straight into it. So first of all, with the paddle serve, let's clarify a few key rules, as there's a lot of things you can do that would make the serve illegal. So first of all, you have to bounce the ball and then hit diagonal into the opposite box. You can't bounce the ball above your waist, okay? So this would be an illegal serve. If I went up like that and then played like this, it's not an overarm serve like in tennis, and I can't bounce it above the waist. It has to be up to my waist. So obviously there's a slight advantage if you're a taller player. You also need both feet behind the white line, so you can't have one foot in. And also you have to bounce the ball behind the white line. So I can't do this, serve, and then play. It has to be behind the white line, foot behind it, and then I can move in. Now, this is not an official rule, but you should definitely do this. If you play the serve, you should always run to the net afterwards rather than just staying at the back of the court. You need to do this from intermediate level upwards if you want any chance of succeeding in your paddle matches. Right, now for the important part, let's go on to how to play the perfect paddle serve. I've got 5 easy steps to break it down. But before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as it helps me out a lot to make more of these types of videos. It's free and it just takes 1 second. All right, let's get going. Okay, so step 1 is preparation and grip. So grip we'll go over real quick. It is the continental grip as per usual. So like this, the handshaking grip, pinky on the bottom, nice and relaxed. That's the perfect grip for the serve. In terms of our preparation, we're gonna stand left foot in front, right behind, side on. And the main thing is I want the racket up like this, the racket face up. So not serving down here. Racket head is gonna be up, so then we can play the serve and go through. As with all paddle shots, preparation is the most important part. Make sure we start up with the racket face like this, here, and then we can play the serve. We'll get onto this a little bit later on, but I want you also a couple steps behind the white line and close to the middle. So if I'm on the left side serving cross, I want to be close to the middle. Same on the right side here. We'll get onto that later on, but just for the preparation, we're starting here with the racket up like this, and then we can play it. Step 2 is about the bounce. So this is probably the most important part of the serve. A lot of people ask straight away, do I drop the ball or do I bounce? It's kind of neither, because if you drop it, the ball's going to be too low, and if I throw it into the ground, it's going to be too high. So I would say just a little bit of downward pressure on the ball. So it's almost like a little push into the ground, and then as it reaches that high point of your waist, then you make contact with the ball. The bounce is something that you do need to train and practice, because you know, if you bounce it wrong and it's too close to you, it's going to be awkward. Same with if you do it too far away from you, you're going to be reaching like this. So ideally you're going to be side on, racket up here, and you're going to bounce it just out in front of you and slightly to the right. So then I can get my whole body weight behind it and then move in. So here, and then I can play. The main things you want to avoid with this bounce is not too low like this, because that means we have to lift on the ball, and then obviously not too high, because then it would be an illegal serve. So nothing up here, or we play it like that. All right, step 3, the motion of the shot. One of the most important aspects of this shot is we want to hit this high to low, okay? So a lot of people will play the serve like this, lifting on the ball. Maybe you're trying to generate top spin, or you just find this more natural. This is a lot easier for the opponent to return. We want to hit this high to low and gently brush on the ball, generating backspin. This is a lot harder for the opponent to deal with. If it hits the glass or hits the back wall, it's going to come down on the glass, it's going to be a lot harder. So we're here, racket up high, just like that preparation from earlier. We're going to bounce the ball, and then as we hit, we're going to brush and come through. It's quite an awkward motion. It feels a little bit unnatural at first, because it's quite a low ball that you're coming high to low, and it feels like you're just going to hit the net. But if you get it right, you can get low with it, rack it up, and you can still see how I'm coming through the ball, but still coming that high to low. I'm not lifting on the ball. This kind of ties in with that volley and bandeka. It's that same shape as we come through. We're not coming over the ball, we're coming round. The main things we want to avoid here is this lifting on the ball. So this here, where we're almost side spinning it rather than getting above it and brushing like this. Before we move on to the next step, make sure to check out my online paddle store, everythingpaddle.co.uk. We've got rackets, equipment, and a lot of guides to help you choose the perfect one for your game. Check it out now. Okay, step 4. We're going to be talking about the positioning and the tactics of it. First of all, I want to be serving close to the middle. So a lot of players serve at this angle here. They're right across, and I think the idea is that you can get a really good angle across to the glass. The problem with this is, if you then want to go down the tee, it's not that effective because the ball still goes right towards the opponent. The solution, play the serve near the middle. So from the middle here, I can go glass and tee very easily. And the opponent doesn't know where I'm going based on me moving from there to here. The other reason is if I'm serving from this side, then I'm playing on the left. If I'm close to the middle, naturally, I can then run to the left side. So I can come in, and I can move in like that. If I served all the way out of there, I wouldn't be able to make it to the left in time. In terms of the tactics of where I think you should serve to, I would say 80 to 90% of the time, you're gonna go towards that glass, and then I throw the odd one here and there down that tee to keep the opponent guessing. But it's much better to go to the glass. Glass is probably the trickiest place and where most errors come returning the serve. The only other one would be down the tee here. So often, most players are right-handed on the right side. It's gonna go low to their backhand. That's also quite a tricky one. But most of the time, to the glass, and then throw it down the tee as well. If we talk a little bit about the positioning also, close to the middle, yes, but also I'd rather you take a couple steps back here so that then you can play the serve all in one motion. So we get a very common one here. We'll serve, and then they run into the net position. We want to do it all in one motion. So I'm behind the white line. I can then allows me to bounce in front, body weight can go in, and this right leg can come in. And then I'm already on my way to the net. As I've hit it, I'm already a couple steps of where I need to go rather than being here and then going in. And the final main tactic, we need to talk a little bit about serve speed. So a lot of players, especially at the beginner and early intermediate stage, will serve very, very fast. This is absolutely fine to serve really fast, but you need to understand the consequences that then you're gonna have less time to get to the net position. As you play someone better, they're not gonna have the issue returning that ball, and they might return it past you before you've even managed to get into the net position. So my advice would be to serve at like 60, 70% power, focus on the spin, the angle, the direction, and focus on getting to the net position. At the end of the day, the aim of the serve is not to win the point, but to win the net position. For step 5, we're gonna go through some additional tips to take that serve from a 6 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. So first of all, like all of our paddle shots, we need to make sure that we're nice and compact, bending the knees as well. Don't want to be too upright hitting this, nice and low. Again, if you watch any pro level match and you watch the slow-mo replays and they're hitting every shot, they're always so compact when it comes to the serve, the volleys and the ground strokes. So we're here, and then we're gonna go in. One good bit of advice would be to not stress about the serve too much in your general paddle game. I think a lot of players, maybe ones that have come from a tennis background, think the serve is the most important thing in the world because it's such a big shot in tennis. In actual fact, in a paddle pro level game, only takes up about 2-3% of all winners. It's much more of a building shot to get you in a good position to then win the point. It's not something that you're gonna have 3 or 4 aces every single game. And then one final tip, this is more for after the serve. If you do go down the tee or to the glass, make sure that your next volley goes into the space. So a brilliant attacking combination would be to serve down this tee, the opponent returns it to the forehand, and then you play into the space. Do the exact same. You serve to the glass and then you play it straight down that tee. Brilliant attacking combination that will get you a lot of winners. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, make sure to hit subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.